Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Bolin. Thank you all for joining me once again. So, WNBA basketball star Brittney Griner decided to stand for the national anthem, I believe Friday. She decided to stand this time around. Now, we all know that she was against it several years ago, but now all of a sudden she wants to stand for the national anthem. So let's get into this article, and we're going to find out why she decided to stand this time around, because I certainly have my opinion on why she decided to stand this particular time. So let's get right into this. Oh yeah, yeah, I just bet you did, dear. WNBA star Brittney Griner is finally speaking out personally after her sports rep published a op-ed explaining why she would stand for the national anthem after years of protesting it. On Friday, for the first time in years, Griner stood for the national anthem ahead of the Phoenix Mercury's 94-71 loss against the Los Angeles Sparks. Now, let me bring this out as a disclaimer. I'm not here criticizing her game. I'm not here criticizing basketball, women's basketball, men's basketball, any type of basketball, because I don't watch it. I don't watch sports that much. As a matter of fact, I hardly watch it at all. When I do, I may go on YouTube and type up old boxing matches. That's about it. I really don't watch sports that much. So I'm not here to critique her abilities as far as being a basketball star. That is not what I'm here about. What I'm here is to give my opinion on why I believe she decided to stand this time around. So, without further ado, let's go on. After the game, Griner explained why she stood, according to Fox News. You have the right to protest, the right to be able to speak out, question, challenge, and do all these things, Griner said. When I went through what I went through and everything, it just means a little bit more to me now. Yeah, I bet you. Yeah, I bet. So I wanted to be able to stand. I was literally in a cage in Russia and could not stand the way I wanted to. Ah, you could not stand the way you wanted to. Don't you think that maybe perhaps the reason for that was because your freedoms there was kind of curdled rather than being in America? Yeah. It's amazing how we miss what we actually have. But let's go on. Just being able to hear my national anthem, see my flag, I definitely want to stand. Now she was like, oh God, thank you. Yeah, okay. Now everybody that would not stand or not come out, I totally support them 100%. That's our right as an American in this great country, she said. Excuse me. I want to say something here about that. Now, me personally, if the person chooses not to stand, I don't support your reasoning not to stand. I support your right not to stand. But I don't support the reasoning and the reason for that is because most people in this country have been and are being brainwashed by the Marxist professors, Marxist news reporters, Marxist politicians, okay, to hate America. That was one of the goals of the Frankfurt School Marxist professors when they came to America in 1933. One of the goals was and is to destroy nationalism or patriotism, to destroy one's love for their country, to make them hate their country. It's easier for the Marxists and the communists to take over if they can brainwash everyone to hate their own country. Because if you hate your own country, are you going to defend it against their Marxist invasion? No, you're not. So most people that don't want to stand for the flag and all this and don't want to stand for national anthem, no, I don't support that. I support your right to choose not to, but I don't support your reasonings not to stand. Okay, now, having said that, let's go on. I appreciate everything a little bit more. All of the small moments, like, oh, I'm so tired, I don't want to go to practice today. That has changed, honestly, she added. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. You don't know what it's going to be like. I feel a lot older somehow, too. On Friday, Griner's agent published this newspaper, which issued similar reasons that the women's basketball star would stand for the anthem. But after the game was the first time the player voiced her reasoning. This is all a far, far different stance than Griner only a few years ago. Then in July of 2020, she rushed to the mics to support the anti-anthem movement and said that the league shouldn't even play it at all, much less stand in honor for it. So before then, several years ago, she was all against it. Oh, she was mad. We shouldn't stand for it, this, that, and the other. Somehow, I don't know if she really honestly believed that or she was conditioned by her Marxist infiltrators, okay, to have this attitude. But now, all of a sudden, she's different. Let's see. At the time, Griner told the sports media, quote, "I honestly feel we should not play the national anthem during our season. I think we should take that much of a stand." She added that she would protest against the country, quote, "regardless." Wow. I'm going to protest regardless. I'm not going to be out there for the national anthem, she said. If the league continues to want to play it, that's fine. It will be all season long. I'll not be out there. I feel like more are going to probably do the same thing. I can only speak for myself. See, this is what kills me about these liberals, man. They'll say all this kind of nonsense based on insufficient factual evidence. They'll talk all this nonsense. And then when the pressure is put on them, when they actually have to deal with real opposition and real tribulation, rather, then all of a sudden they change their mind. Well, if you really believe in something, you should take a stand. If you really didn't want to stand for the flag, then you shouldn't stand again when you come back. This goes to show you that was all a construct that you built in your own mind. But let's go on. Or you was programmed to believe and built in your own mind. But let's go on. That was before she was imprisoned by Russia and sentenced to 10 years of hard labor for a cannabis-infused vape cartridge. The Phoenix Mercury player spent nearly a year in jail in Russia after being arrested and convicted of importing drugs into the country when authorities found a cannabis-infused vape cartridge in her luggage as she tried to leave Moscow. She was arrested, sent to trial, convicted, and sentenced to 10 years of hard labor. Ultimately, Russia authorities exchanged Griner for Victor Bout, an armed dealer who earned the nickname the Merchant of Death. Now that she is safely back in the USA, though, Griner is saying that the anthem definitely hit different to her than it once did. Imagine that. Now, that part where the writer of the article puts, imagine that, that's kind of opinionated. But I don't think they should have did that. They should just give me the information. But anyway, I'm going to give my opinion, so, it is what it is. Yeah, but yeah, of course, she's going to want to stand for it this time around. And I believe the reason why she wants to stand for the national anthem this time around is because she is so happy to be back in America. She has discovered just how free she actually was and is. See, like I said, this is what kills me about a lot of these liberals or these useful idiots that have been brainwashed by the communists behind the scenes to think that they're fighting for a just cause. And when I say useful idiots, I'm quoting Lenin's words. Okay, those are Lenin's words. The former communist dictator of Russia, those were his words in a book he wrote. He called these people that are idealistic, that think they're fighting for a great cause of equality and equity and all this social justice stuff. He called them useful idiots because they were blind to what communism really is all about. And he knew that the communists and himself could use these individuals to push their agenda, which is based on lies, murder, falsehood, and deception. Yes, these useful idiots are out here that kills me. That they kill me out here protesting for something that they think that they're really standing for. They think they're standing for a real just cause, but they have no idea they're being used and manipulated. And when the pressure gets put on them, that look, wait a minute, hold it, you're being lied to and you're being manipulated, and they're actually put in a situation like being sent to another country, being caught in another country with drugs, and now you got to spend time in prison with foreigners. Now you see just how free you actually was in America. America all of a sudden doesn't seem so bad, does it? It doesn't seem all that bad. But the Marxist insurgents and the liberal media and the liberal politicians will make you think that it's that bad. But is it really? It's simple to me. She simply now wants to stand because she appreciates the freedom she has here in America. And it seems like to me, she realizes that the flag, okay, represents freedom of choice and freedom in all the areas you want to be. You can be anything you want to be in America. You can be anything you want to be in America. If you want to be a dog or a cat or a rat, you can be anything. Look at that. Look at the LGBT community. Look at them. They're the favored group in this country, which I totally disagree with. You shouldn't favor any group, but they're the favorite group. Yet the activists cry and boo-hoo and talk about how persecuted they actually are. Well, okay, just do what Brittney Griner had to do. You know, go to one of these other countries and see how free you actually are. Go to one of these communist countries and see how much freedom you actually have. And then come back and then do an article on how free you were in these countries and see what happens. You just see. You're not going to get away with that because the reality of the matter is that you're more free in America than in any other country. No matter how abhorrent your freedom may be. You are more free in America than in any other country. And this is what Brittney Griner have come to the realization of. It's interesting how these Marxists and these liberal media conglomerates can convince people how oppressed they really are. You know, if you keep telling a person that they're oppressed, you oppress. The reason why you didn't get that job interview is because you oppressed. It was racism. Never mind the fact that you have a criminal record. They discriminated against you because you're black, you this, you that, you this. That's the reason why. You know, when you have the establishment constantly brainwashing you and pushing this oppression on you, if you're not careful, man, you're going to begin to, on a subconscious level, absorb that nonsense, that poison, those lies. It's all an attempt to get people to hate the country so that it's easier for the communists to take it over from within. When you hate your country, you're not going to defend it. You're not. And like I said, when you ask the average person that's been inundated with this liberal nonsense of how oppressive America actually is, they can't, at least in my experience, they can't give me a real reason. Not once have they given me a real reason, not once. And you want to know why? Because they've been lied to, they're manipulated. Unfortunately, they fall into the category of useful idiots. It is what it is. And that's what Brittney Griner was at one point, a useful idiot, thinking that she's doing something really, really idealistic and really great and really awesome. And when she found out in that Russian prison, man, I really was free. I can't help but imagine, and when she came back, I can't help but imagine her kissing the ground. You know, Christoph, thank you, thank you, America. Thank you for the freedoms the Constitution of this country has granted me. And as she said in the article, you know, here you can say, well, I don't want to, I'm too tired. I don't want to go to practice today. You can't do that in Russia, baby. Can't do that in them communist countries or them countries that have totalitarian regimes. You can't do that. At this present time, America still is the freest country in the world. You can be whatever you want to be. And that's why I get on black people about this. I'm oppressed and all this kind of stuff. I'll be wanting to slap the taste out their mouth. I mean, really, man, come on. Could you give me some examples of how oppressed you really are? Well, I don't know, man. So if you can't explain it to me, then don't you think that there might be a problem with that? If you can't articulate to me that you are oppressed, then don't you think there's a problem with that? If you can't articulate it, explain it to me. Clearly something's going on here. They'll just go walk off and still embrace the same stupidity. It's ridiculous. You're not oppressed. You're not. You may have issues. You may have challenges. You may have obstacles to overcome, but that's humanity. That's the way, that's life. No matter where you go, you're going to have obstacles. The question is, can you overcome those obstacles? And my answer to that is, yes, you can if you want to. But if you want to boo-hoo and cry and be a snowflake all your life, you never will overcome anything. And that's what Brittney Griner was doing. She was boo-hooing and crying. I'm oppressed, until she got a taste of that Russian prison. Now all of a sudden, I want to stand for the national anthem. That's really what she really want to say is, I love my country. I didn't know I love my country, but I love my country, and I love what that flag represents. And I wish and pray more and more people in this country who've been inundated and brainwashed by this Marxist ideology of anti-patriotism and anti-nationalism will wake up and see that you really are blessed in this country. It may not be perfect. It definitely has its flaws, okay? They definitely have done some evil things, but you got to understand, the Constitution isn't the issue. The Bill of Rights isn't the issue, okay? The Declaration of Independence is not the issue. It's the people in the government that's the issue. The Constitution is not the problem. It's the sickos in the government that's the problem. It's the Marxist professors. It's the Marxist politicians and communists and socialist politicians and sellout Republicans that are the problem. They are the problem. And they're the ones that needs to be voted out of office. Period. Bottom line. They're the problem. So we got to get out of this attitude, man, of, oh, the system is messed up. No, the system is not messed up. It's the people in the system that's messed up. And once we realize that, man, that the people in the system is what's messed up, then we can get that grudge, that sludge out. I'm going to say this and I'm going to end this video on this. Just like a car, I'm not no mechanic or anything like that, but you can have a real good car with all the parts and things that they need, that their car needs in it. The motor and everything runs perfectly. But if you put a monkey wrench, so to speak, in it, or if it doesn't have what it needs, sort of like gas, or it's got sludge in the gas tank or whatever, what's going to happen? It's going to mess up the whole system itself. It's going to keep the car from operating efficiently. The problem isn't the system. The problem is somebody put something in the tank that messed it up. Same scenario with the government. The problem isn't the system. I hear people say it all the time. It's the system. The system is set up against you. No, the system isn't set up against you. It's the elite in the system that's set up against you. They're the ones that set up against you. A system doesn't have a personality. So that's what she came to the realization of. She's come to the realization that she loves this country. And it seems like to me she's going to stop hating on it now. And let me say this. Then I promise I'll end. I believe also she decided to stand for it because she knows that a significant number of people were in disagreement with her for talking about not standing. That most of the people that viewed her were probably either conservative or people in the middle, independents. Okay, and when she decided not to, most people were like, I'm against you having that. What are you talking about? What are you even doing? What's the problem? Like Kaepernick, I don't even want to talk about that guy. He's a waste of time. And most people know it. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you know Kaepernick ain't worth 10 cents. Now all of a sudden he want to try to make a comeback from what I understand. No. You messed up, bro. Now you suffering the consequences of it. You're suffering the consequences of it. The problem ain't the flag. The problem is with you. You've been brainwashed. You've been manipulated. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. That's what happened. It's just my view on it. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.